I don't think what the state PR said is actually based on any law. I don't think the person spoke on the basis of law. Maybe it was a personal opinion. Otherwise, it's not for the police to regulate whether people should have dreadlock or should have tattoos. However, there are things that you will do that may appear to be offensive to public perceptions, and in that case could affect the law. So, but I don't think what the person said is related to the law as it currently stands. People have tattoos, people have dreadlocks. It's actually not correct to say it's not part of African culture, because culture is dynamic. At a point in time, if you remember the Ethiopians and others, Rastafarians, they had dreadlocks. So you can't say that was based on European imperialism or cultural erosion of African culture values. Then tattoos too have always been part of our culture. The Yoruba had tattoo right from the time before the colonial period. Other parts of Nigerians also had one form of tattoo or another. The Hausa Fulani had their tattoos too. So it's not because of our romance with European culture that we started to have tattoos and dreadlocks. It's not enough for them to harass those who wear tattoos or dreadlocks. It's a sign of underdevelopment. In other countries, people choose the way they want to dress, provided it's not against the law. People choose the way they want to have their dreadlocks. At a point in our historical development, having a bald head like this, clean shave, was the problem. You'll be considered as somebody who was not responsible. Today, some people do have it and there's no qualms or no problems about that. And those who are leading us, whether as public officials, political officials and others, must understand this dynamism. And when you see it, you also have to understand that fashion migrates from one point to another. And you ask yourself, why you dress like that? And the person says, that's how I want to dress. That you should understand.
Dreadlock is not altogether strange to Africa. In the past, even up to today, some people are born with it. And it has some spiritual, implications. When a child is born, a baby is born with that, there's always that tendency to seek the interpretation of diviners, because it's not ordinary. And the appropriate things, the right things are done. You don't even shave it ordinarily. Some sacrifices are made, depending on the reason why the baby is coming to the world with it. So it is not ordinary. Tattoo is not strange. It's part of culture or some ethnic nationalities in Africa. It's a design. It's a decoration of the body. So that also is not strange. Nobody is born with it. It is part of the culture of Africa. But because of Western influence, the Western aspect of it, has been grafted on the traditional aspect, making it the way it is now, giving people the cause to say that this is not our culture. It's the influence that makes people to say it is not our culture. But that is not to say that it is strange to Africa. The police officer or officers that are using it as a basis to determine, as a parameter to determine who is criminal and who is not, it's not true enough, it's not correct. It marks of some ignorance of our culture.
That kind of statement is not only ridiculous. They equally try to portray the entire force as shameful. That an officer could come up with that kind of... Is that supposed to be the basis of any evidence to prosecute anybody, to identify anybody? It's forgotten that there are those who even work in certain organizations. If, for example, you work in an advertisement organization and it requires for you to dress in a particular way, does that mean that you have now been criminalized on the account of the way you dress? For goodness sake. In fact, he ought to be called to order for even uttering that kind of statement. Are we saying that, for example, that if I work in an advertisement firm where it is normal for me also to dress in a particular lifestyle, or those who equally shoot film and they need to dress in a particular way for a particular period of time, or sometime where you work all these soap opera film that maybe like the Big Brother Africa, are you saying if he sees that group of people in outside, he will be arrested and criminalized because that is the way? So it does reflect that there's no intelligence, and even those who are supposed to be criminalized people, equally don't. In fact, they don't have knowledge on how to go on fighting crime. I think maybe the police authority will call him to order. That kind of profiling is very dangerous. Don't forget that we live in a world that is globalized. People could copy different things from different kinds of people. Are you saying, for example, the professional footballer who wears dreadlocks is a criminal? By what? How do you define a criminal? By what parameters? By the way that he dress, he wear his shirt? For goodness sake, that is very shameful. We don't need to go into that.